Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for round 20 of Tier 3. Championship's been locked up here by this man, Joe F1, for the season for the Drivers' Team, and for the Drivers' Championship, and for the Team's Championship, it's going to be by his team, Haas, with Rawlings. Currently, Danny Rick F1 second to Joe by just 0.02 of a second in the Alpha Tauri there. Sorry for the delay, unfortunately. My life does not run on my own schedule, it runs on other people's. And sometimes people are just inconsiderate. Rawlings now goes to the top of the board with a 1:13.9. That's not right. That's not right at all. Anyway, so one of the shorter tracks on the circuit here, as far as the actual full length or full, I guess full tilt circuits, the actual circuits. Some of the street circuits like Monaco, obviously a little shorter. Brazil is also a little bit shorter. But very, very fast. Front straightaway, a mile long almost. I think I believe it's 3/4 of a mile, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not totally sure of the exact length at this point in time. I haven't had the time to do any research like I normally do before the race. So we're just kind of winging it this week. 16 drivers here, as RPR Furby has joined. I'm not sure who that is. Got a few unfamiliar faces around right now, including BRL Error. That's a interesting name. As Rawlings cutting the track there on his in-lap. You're not allowed to do that. So that may draw the ire of the stewards, because that's a pretty clearly stated rule that you're not allowed to do that, as we catch that on camera. Killer F1 looks to be starting a lap here on a brand new set of softs as Joe improves the fast lap to a 13.6. Very good lap time right there from the Haas driver. See what Heatwave, or what Killer can do down through the first sector. Where is he going to be? He is going to be well up. So yeah, he's definitely on an in-lap. I'm not sure what, or if he's just made a mistake or what's going on there, but very high ERS. I don't know if he made a mistake or what's going on, but he's going extremely slow. 8 minutes 40 to play with here in this session. And we're going to look at the map and see who is going to be coming up to the line. That is one of the Mercedes. That is Heatwave. He is invalidated. And behind him, Tesla Clerk also invalidated in the first of the two racing points. Joe trying to invite me there after his second lap. Doesn't quite realize I'm already in here. Hello, everybody. Again, it's Ferrari at 94. Commentating for BRL Tier 3, also known as BRL Williams, as one of the Renaults coming out there. I believe that is Groggy. It is Groggy. He's the only Renault here. Coming up to the line, we have... that is Killer F1 going into the pit lane there, so abandoning a lap or finishing an in-lap. One of the two. BRL Error, and then that is going to be... who was that? That was Marlon jumping up just behind his teammate there. As passes that goes to the wrong car. And I am enjoying a few alcoholic beverages this evening, so you're going to get to hear drunk commentary again. I do this quite often just because people have a tendency to get on my nerves right at the end of the day, right before I do this, so I need something to kind of chill me out a little bit. So, moving right along. Who is going to be the next car? That is one of the Haas cars. That is going to be Rawlings, and he is on an in-lap, or on an out-lap, actually. So here he comes, off the final corner. Nice clean run. We're going to hop on board as he goes down. Just look at that. That is a monstrous straightaway, and the DRS zone starts pretty much right after the start-finish line, just a couple hundred meters after the start-finish line. All the way up 206 miles an hour. They're going faster than that in real life, actually. It's more like 215. You're getting Monza-level speeds with Monaco-level wings around this place. He invalidates through that first chicane section. Not my favorite portion of this track, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of that section. It tends to cause more problems than it does create good racing. Good example of that is Whiffy Winner starts a lap here in the Alpha Tauri. trying to improve and get up close, a little closer to his teammate, who's currently second, doing a fantastic job. Anyway, as was proved in the Tier 1 race, I got a monster of a start from P2. I was only about a half second clear of everybody going into Turn 1. I was almost a second and a half coming out of Turn 3, so that chicane is just, it doesn't create good racing, really. Everybody went 3 wide, and they all eventually had to funnel down to single file anyway in the space of a couple of corners. So it just, I don't like corners like that. I don't like that whole 3-corner chicane style thing. But that's just me. Some people like those types of corners. I don't. Looking around, nobody really setting an improved lap at this point. Whiffy, coming through the end of Sector 2, is down on his time just a little bit here. He's rather up on his time. He is about 2/10 quicker, so that would put him in front of Heatwave, gaining 1 position at this point. If he can improve just a little bit more, he could get to Goody to a level at P7 there in the racing point. Keeps it nice and tight coming to the line. What's it going to be? Oh, it only improves a little bit. Doesn't even get Heatwave there at the end, so not the best 3rd sector for the AlphaTauri driver. Got a Red Bull. That is going to be Error on an outlap. He's coming through Sector 3. The other AlphaTauri of Danny Rick also on an outlap right behind him. Not sure I'd want to be that close on an outlap. And then the Ferrari of CRS Facetaste. He's on the mediums. I believe he is coming into the pits here. Nope, he's setting up for another lap. Froggy Oregano. He's a little bit down on his time. Coming off the final corner, what can the Renault do? Up to the line. Improves by about 3 or 4/10. Gets in front of BRL Error in the Red Bull. One of the Mercedes right behind him, that was Heatwave, who jumped Goody Doo. So good on the driver of car number 12. Yellow flag in Sector 1 and 2, just people getting out of each other's ways. Looks like one of the Haas is coming into the pit lane, and looks like Redeemer coming to the start-finish line here. He is going to improve quite a bit, 8/10, so that's not a bad improvement at all. Jumps up in front of Facetaste and Groggy and his teammate. So next up to the line, Whiffy is on an in-lap, so that's not going to be him. And, oh, we have, that looks like Error has made an error, and he has gotten into the barrier coming out of the S's at the end of Sector 2. He wants to stay off to the side of the track. He does. So, unforced error for BRL Error. Stenner, the only driver in the second Renault, has now, he's down at the bottom now, has not set a lap. Is he going to wait and do the 1-lap slap? If he's going to wait, he better not wait much longer. And I think I hear him firing up. He's one of the only drivers that was in the pits, so he would be only one of the only cars in there that could go out right now. Nope, that is a Williams, and that is going to be Killer going out once again. Everybody coming back in for that final little blast, and everybody is going to be pretty tight here at the end, so this is going to get interesting very quickly at the end of this session. Looking down the order currently, it is Joe, Danny Rick, SSR Rawlings, Killer F1, Marlon Kanga, the 2 Mercedes of SSR Zampa, and Heatwave, Goody Doo in 8th, Whiffy in 9th, and Tesla Clerk in the second Racing Point in 10th. Following them is Silkweaver, Redeemer, Groggy Oregano, Facetaste, BRL Error, and still sitting on no time, TTM Stenner in 16th and last. I kind of wonder if I should just call this like a golf game, just very quietly, just very calmly. But no, that's not what you're here for. You're here for the action. You're here for the excitement. This is Formula 1. If it's not getting a little bit exciting, you're in the wrong place. So both AlphaTauri and Red Bull sending one car out. That is going to be, Deemer's already out there, so that's going to be BRL Error coming out of the pits behind Whiffy winner. As Tesla Clerk now jumps up to P8 there in the Racing Point, just 1/1000th of a second ahead of his teammate. Looks like a lot of cars going out 2 by 2 by 2 they go. This isn't Noah's Ark, folks, it's Mexico. As the 2 Haas boys appear to be swapping position on the racetrack. The 2 Mercedes behind them, and one of the Williamses, I think that is Marlon, and he is on an outlap. Killer is on a hot lap here, so we're going to hop along with him. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him. This is what you really don't want to see as a driver. You don't want to see a bunch of cars that just came out of the pits right in front of you, because they're going to be moving slowly. That right there, that's what you want to see, is the Alpha Tower. He just pulled over to the side in an easy place on the inside of the track. Didn't really impact him too much, but you still hate it. It's a distraction. When you're trying to run a hot lap, you don't want distractions. I don't want distractions. Nobody wants distractions. Coming up to the end of Sector 2, he is about 2 1/4 tenths up in the Williams, but he's coming up to the stadium section. A lot of cars right in the way, including his teammate who gets out of the way in the hairpin. One of the Haas's there off to the side of the track. This is why I kind of have a personal policy of get to Sector 3 and then get the wet out, because I don't like sitting in people's way like that. Killer jumps up to P2, just 11 thousandths behind Joe F1. Let's see who's going to be the first car to complete a lap here. Deemer has invalidated, so he's probably going to take another crack at it if he's got enough fuel. I don't think he does, though. So the first car is going to be Withy Winner, and he is pretty much level even with his time so far. And let's see here. Car behind him was BRL TIER. We're going to see. Silk Weaver's retired from the session, so has Tesla Clerk. What is Withy going to do? He's 6 thousandths down. That's not going to gain him a whole lot. He needs to improve a little more to get Goody-Doo at the death here. Withy off the final corner. Looks like he gets a pretty okay exit. And he picks up 2 tenths, so that does not actually get him anything. Never mind. Error does not improve. The 2 Mercedes, Zampa improves, Heatwave improves, both of them getting Marlin there at the end. Danny Rick coming up to the line. This is the guy. He's invalidated, unfortunately, but that would have been good enough to put him P2 on the grid. One of the Haas's, Joe, has come off the road here at the final corner. He's got second place to his teammate Rawlings, unfortunately. Looks like he may have just lost control on the exit of the final corner here. Yep, and he Valtteri Bottas'd into the end of that wall right there. That's unfortunate for him as Killer jumps into the pit lane. So, there you have it. Joe, second. Rawlings, P1. That is going to do us for qualifying here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Just waiting on Killer to get back in the garage or retire from the session. It's like he is spluttering home on no fuel. Alright, so there you have it. And Joe actually has a 5-position grid penalty. Interesting. What was that for? Grid penalty, there it is. Collision with SSR Zampa. Okay, we missed that. Where did that happen? On his second flying lap. So we missed that. There you have the order, folks. We'll be back just a moment for the start of the race. All right, as everybody begins to crawl away from the line, everybody weaving quite violently. Getting heating the tires around this track, at least in the wet, was not very easy, so I don't think heating the tires up is going to be particularly simple today. Interesting strategy split around here right now. Everybody down to P12 starting on the softs, top 10 guys starting on the tires they qualified on. Then you've got the two Red Bulls running on mediums, and then Groggy and Facetaste rounding off the field starting on the hards. So that will create some interesting strategies as we go forward. This is kind of one of those places where a two-stop strategy can be viable, but you have to be quick to make it work. You can't make that many mistakes. Penalties very easy to garner around here. I was the only driver in Tier 1 not to garner one, and I only ended up with one warning. So, driving carefully does pay off around here. But it is extremely easy to pick up penalties around this track, mostly through that very twisty S section and through turns 1, 2, and 3 as you're trying to take as much of those curbs as possible to minimize your run through those corners. All right, as the field filters out of Mansell, the final corner here, which was basically the back half of the old Peraltada corner. But Mansell went around the outside of Senna in the 90s quite spectacularly at this particular circuit. We see everybody filing into their grid position. Last car on the grid is the bright red Ferrari of CRS Facetaste. P16 on the left-hand side of the grid. Going to get a good view of the field here from the start. It looks like this should be a good run down to turn 1. Nice long run. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights are on the Rolex overhang. There they go. We're out. Who's going to get the better start off the front row? Is it going to be Killer? Is it going to be Rawlings? Rawlings gets the better start. And oh, looks like Zampa goes right up the middle, or tries to at least. Danny Rick going around both of those cars and getting into second. Now, who's going to get slipstreamed down to the corner? Looks like Rawlings is going to get there first, and a little bit of argy-bargy back there a little further on down the field. Zampa got a great start there. Joe's going to get him on the drive down to turn 4 here after that grid penalty. He was in P7 on the start, already up to P3, as now Stenner jumps up. Where did he start off at? I didn't see where he ended up qualifying, actually. Stenner qualified in 6th place. I did not see that. Actually qualified in 7th, but got 6th. Killer got the worst of the start there, dropping down 5 positions. The biggest gainers, Joe and Facetaste. Facetaste with an incredible start from the hard tire there at the getaway. Looking here, Danny Rick is only about half a second behind Rawlings. DRS not enabled until the 3rd lap of the race, so they will not have access to it until they come around to start lap 4. At least not down the front straightaway, which is where your primary overtaking zone is going to be around here. Yes, you can make a move down to turn 4, but it's a lot more difficult because the straightaway is not that long. Ignore that graphic at the bottom, it's calling me a liar there. It is only lap 2, not lap 3. Looking here, Silkweaver, actually, biggest mover on lap 1, up 7 spots from P12. What a start from the McLaren driver. Is that wrong? I think that's wrong, actually. Yep, that is a glitched graphic. Never mind, folks. I am lying out my you-know-what. So as they filter through the first sector timing split, everything corrects itself, and so never mind. Biggest mover tied between Joe and Facetaste. Biggest loser, Heatwave and Killer. Everybody in that group moving up and down 4 positions. Not to forget Whiffy moving up 3 spots there off the start. Good job on the Alpha Tauri driver. But speaking of, as Guido and Whiffy both pick up 3-second time penalties right there for exceeding track limits through the S's. Come on, guys, we're only on lap 2 and you already picked up 3. You got to be a little more careful than that. Already putting yourself on the back foot early here. This is where things are going to get interesting because Danny Rick looks like he got a little bit of a better run out of that final corner. He's going to have a run down the front straightaway, burning a little more ERS though. Trying to catch up to Rawlings. We got a yellow flag in Sector 3. That is going to be Redeemer. And looks like Groggy hitting the pit lane. Or Groggy's hitting the pit lane for some reason. Not sure what. He's got some wing damage, it looks like. Possibly to that Renault. Stenner, his teammate, picking up a 3-second time penalty there at the front in P5. And Redeemer just looks like he might have lost it through Mansell on the exit there, trying to get on the power. Looking here, looks like we got some action going on here. Heat wave. Nope, somebody's gone around here. That is... Oh, Killer F1. His day has just gone from bad to worse. He has spun down there and got wing damage to boot at turn 5 and at turn 5 there at the end of the second DRS straight. So not good for him. Face Taste picks up 3-second time penalty, kind of putting pain to all his hard work on those hard tires early here. Could still work out for him, but he doesn't need to get too many more of those. As you can see, exactly as I was saying, time penalties very easy to pick up around this circuit. Looking back up at the front here, Danny Rick is within a second. He is half a second behind race leader Rawlings. He is on the button, DRS open. There goes the wing flap, and that gap's going to start shrinking. Shrinking, shrinking. Is he going to be close enough to make a lunge? He's gaining, gaining, gaining. He's going to go to the inside. Rawlings defenseless as they come up to the braking zone. Very tight going into the braking zone, almost making contact. But Danny Rick into the lead here in the Alpha Tower. He gets a little sideways, goes a little wide. Not what he needs to be doing there. Got DRS again, despite the fact he was ahead. It's all one zone, basically, just separated by some corners. So that allows him to stay ahead as Rawlings made a little bit of a challenge. And now he's got his teammate all over the back of him in Joe. So if Rawlings can't make a move down the front straightaway this time, or if Danny Rick starts to drive away, he might want to consider letting Joe just kind of sneak on past and maybe take a crack at him and let him drag him along. Whiffy fight. Oh, a little contact right there going through the S's between Whiffy and Marlin. Nothing untoward there, no damage. So Whiffy moved up another spot. He is now at 5 positions along with Face Taste. Joe still up 4 positions as now Heatwave gets a 3-second time penalty for extending track limits. He has got Face Taste right on his gearbox as Silkweaver now picks up a time penalty. So we're going to look at this. Where's it? We got a yellow flag there as... Oh, that is Joe. Joe has spun at the final corner. Unfortunate for him. Had a really good start, and that undoes all of his hard work. Everybody dodging around him as he comes back onto the front straightaway. Back up to speed already with the slipstream and a hefty use of ERS and DRS. 3 wide down to turn 1, down to 2 wide. Joe's on the soft tire, so he's going to have this done pretty well. Heatwave and Face Ace still going at it behind him for P10. Gotta think Face Ace is going to have the advantage there. Heatwave doesn't have DRS. Deemer now getting a 3-second time penalty further down the field. Total penalties. Nobody has more than 3 seconds right now, so that's good to see. Nobody's really picking up a ton of penalties. BRL Error has now left the session. We're going to try to get him back in here really quick. Trying to figure out the best way to do this. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. There's what I'm looking for. Where is he? I do not see him. There he is. It's hiding. All right, so we are back to the action here. BRL Error has been sent an invite. Hopefully he can get back into the session here. Rawlings back in the lead. Sorry we missed that with all that going on. Got some action going here. Stenner now and Zampa going at it for P3. This is for the final podium spot. Renault versus McLaren or Mercedes. God, almost had flashbacks right there saying McLaren when it's a Mercedes. My bad. I'm showing my age here, folks. as Gudido has now got 6 seconds of time penalties. First man to break over the 3-second bracket there. That. Looking around here, looks like Danny Rick going to have possibly another run. He's a little farther back this time. Rawlings doing a little bit better job managing the ERS on his Haas than the AlphaTauri, but great to see the independent teams here doing a little bit better. Maybe the factory teams. He's got the inside line. He's going to send it up, locks up that right front a little bit as it unloads. That's going to put Rawlings off a little bit. He's going to have another spurt of DRS down this straightaway, so he's going to draw ever closer, as it looks like Stenner and Zampa going at it. Zampa's going to have DRS and he's burning every bit of battery he's got to try and get around Stenner. Stenner doing the same to try and stay ahead. That's going to allow Zampa to get in front for the moment. Can he hang on to it, though? He's going to have to charge everything up. Danny Rick now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Runs a little bit wide, I think, off the exit of turn 6. That weird, awkward double apex corner at the far end of the track. I think right now, as Marlin picks up another 3-second time penalty, or just his first, actually. Stenner's up to 6 seconds in the Renault as well. I think Danny Rick's best bet here is to just maybe sit back, not burn so much ERS. He's already up to 50%, so that's impressive. Don't burn a ton of it. And he's actually coming into the pits here on lap 7. So an early stop for the AlphaTauri driver. Maybe he's going for a 2-stop. What's he going to put on here? He is going for that medium tire, the yellow sidewall medium tire. Who else is coming in? We're going to switch over to see what tires we are putting on here, as it looks like Stenner also going to the medium, Joe also going to the medium as well. So most of these guys thinking that a soft and 2 medium stints might be the way to go here. Probably going to expect to see them in around roughly lap 22, I think. So that's going to drop them down the order. Everybody, you can see right here, almost everybody except Rawlings, Leclerc, Error, and Killer F1 all have a penalty or more. So this place really showing just exactly how tough of a track it is to drive. Trying to get through this race without penalties is an ordeal. You have to be so careful all the time to not get penalties. And it really does add up quite quickly around here. Funny story, and I love telling this story. Story time, kids. Way back in the day, in Season 1 of BRL, we came to this track for the first time as a league. I finished 5th on the road in the Tier 1 race, and I was 20-odd seconds behind the leader. Like, when the leader hit the start line, I was somewhere around the Sector 2 split and the first corner of Sector 3 as Goody hits the pit lane. Looks like Rawlings also hitting the pit lane. He has gone onto the medium tire. So that is going to filter everybody who is on a harder tire or who has not stopped yet in front of him. Except for, that is right behind him. That's Danny Rick. Danny Rick got an undercut on him and is going to get ahead. So how's that going to play out for Danny Rick as he has a little bit of clear air? That's going to hurt Rawlings just a little bit, but Rawlings doesn't have the penalty. And Rawlings has got to drive back on him down the straightaway. He's got the inside line. Danny Rick needs to hold him to the inside, not let him bully him off the track. Just like that. Just wheel to wheel to wheel to wheel. He's got the inside for the next corner as well. And that's going to allow him to just do that right there. Just keep Rawlings right out on the edge of the track. Into the S's. He's going to be ahead. That's going to put him under fire down the front straightaway if Rawlings can stay close enough. But this is the race right now for the race lead. Effectively. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2. That was Goody who set that off. I'm not sure why. BRL Error is still ghosted, I think. I'm not sure. Yep. We're going to go try sending him one more invite. See if we can't get him in here. It's not letting me get him in here, I don't think. Looking back here at Rawlings and Danny Rick down the front straightaway. Rawlings couldn't do anything. Tries again into turn 4. Not quite close enough this time. They're coming up on Silkweaver. You got to think Danny Rick is wanting to get in front of Silkweaver through the S's, possibly, if he can, and use him as a pick to hold Rawlings up. That is the ideal thing that he needs to do. A few cars running the pit lane there. Rawlings now picks up his first 3-second time penalty. Rocky Oregano picking up another 3-second time penalty down there in 15th. Sorry, responding to a text message there, folks. Don't mean to be texting and commentating, but unfortunately some things are a little important, so I have to deal with them. Danny Rick staying ahead of Rawlings again. They're both clear of Silkweaver. Next car up the road is Face Taste. He's on those hard tires that he started on, making them work extremely well. This is exactly what he needs to do. Everybody else going for that 2-stop, it looks like. He is appearing to be the only guy wanting to chance the 1-stop. He's going to be trying to stretch these tires out to about lap 20. That is ideally where he wants to be, and then he'll be on those mediums. He'll be pretty quick for a while towards the end of the race. Oh, there's another cat in there. Okay. Sorry, my cats are being ridiculous. Anyway, so Face Taste is going to be wanting to just kind of maintain his composure right here as the leaders come up behind him to regain the position on the track. But he is effectively right now net P1 as Whiffy now comes into the pit lane. He is actual P1 now. So he's net P1 right now as Danny Rick resets fast lap at a 1:17.5. Rawlings in tow. Looks like he's actually drawn away a little bit from Rawlings there. He has indeed. Rawlings not able to mount a challenge down the front straightaway, so maybe Danny Rick. Oh, and they both pick up a 3-second time penalty. So I was fixing to say that just made his job a lot harder, but then Rawlings picked up another one. Rawlings maybe working a little bit too hard behind Danny Rick to try and get by him on track. Sometimes it's just a little bit smarter to maybe follow the guy and maybe just keep it on the track. Let him make the mistakes and rack up the penalties. Let's check in on that penalty situation here. So yeah, 6 seconds between all these guys up front except for Face Taste. He's currently sitting on 3 seconds. So currently he's sitting the best of the top 5 who have either stopped or not stopped. Who has not stopped? So current guys that have not stopped, BRL error obviously not. Try one more time to get him in here. He's currently down in 13th place still, even being lagged out as long as he has. Rawlings right on the back of Danny Rick this lap. Not close enough to Face Taste to get DRS of his own, so he's going to get attacked by Rawlings here. Rawlings going full send right here. Or is he? Can he get around the AlphaTauri? He's going to get to the outside, but he's not going to get a run big enough to get alongside of him. Interesting. So maybe Rawlings had it set up a little bit more for the ultimate pace, so when he's in clear air, he can pull away through that second sector, but trying to overtake cars proved a little bit tricky for him. This is where it's going to really hurt him, being stuck behind another car, because this is where he needs to make he needs to make hay while the sun shines through this sector of the track. And right there you see he lost a little bit because he's losing the aerodynamic efficiency on the car. Just due to the outwash, runs a little bit over the line. That'll be a warning. Stenner picking up another time penalty there. So he's now up to, I believe, 9 seconds? Yes, he is. Joe making a nice recovery. After his spin, he's up to P6 on that medium tire, just in front of Zampa. So he just got around Zampa. Probably might get passed back if he can't draw away a little bit through these last couple of corners. And he's got Tesla Clerk just behind the two of them. Looking up here, Danny Rick Looking for a move on Face Taste. He wants to get in front of that Ferrari. He is going to get in front of that. Oh, wow, they run very deep right there, but that's going to make Rawlings have to get stuck behind the Ferrari for a moment. And he's going to allow Danny Rick to draw away just a little bit. Rawlings now goes to the right-hand side of the road. Rawlings runs very deep there. That's going to allow Face Taste back around the outside of him. And that's going to slow him up considerably. So that might be job done and Danny Rick off into the lead. We will see what the gap is at the start-finish line this lap. Actually, no, the detection point's in the middle of Sector 3, right at the exit of the stadium. So that's where he needs to be 1 second or more ahead of the car behind. Face Taste falls down to P3. Still got another 6 laps he's got to run before he can make that pit stop. Rawlings is over a second behind, so now we're going to see the true aerodynamic efficiency of both these cars. We're going to see who's got lower wing settings. Danny Rick hugging the right-hand side of the road. Rawlings gained a little bit back initially. I think he dumped a bit more at ERS, but as they go down the straight, you can see right there, really not gaining much of anything. Gets in the slipstream finally. Starts picking up a little bit, but didn't really pick up a ton. No DRS activation for Rawlings this lap. He was not within that 1 second activation point. Zampa right behind Joe, not making a move there. He's got another look down to turn 4 on the button. Battery pretty much empty. I mean, these guys just love to chew this battery up. Oh, and oh wow, Zampa, very, very awkward jolt to the side, goes off the track, and he is around. Maybe a little contact there from Joe, but that's going to cost him 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. Or 3 spots, rather. Almost 4. Back up towards the front of the field. Rawlings much closer this time around as they come through the Stadium de Sol. Through Mansell on the front straightaway, half a second behind. We're going to go on board with the Haas driver. Not really able to gain much right now. Maybe just trying to creep up on the back of him. Do it a little at a time, not overuse that battery. What is Danny Rick's battery? They're both at about 50% roughly. So doing very good managing that battery up front. That kind of shows what happens with the difference in that. LDR Redeemer down back of the field, setting off a yellow flag. I think he has, yeah, he's had a spin in Sector 2. And here we have Danny Rick and Rawlings going at it through Sector 2, nose to tail. Face Taste saying, yeah, go ahead and start fighting. That's only going to help me. Here is the thing about Face Taste. He is going to get onto a fresh set of mediums a lap or 2 sooner than the 2 guys in front of him. What that is going to do as Redeemer retires from the session in the pit lane, apparently he's just decided he's had enough. And oh, Rawlings gets very sideways through the right-hander coming to the stadium there. I saw him twitch just at the corner of the screen there on the stream. Too many S's. About a half second back out of Mansell. Gains a little bit out of the corner, so he is definitely getting a better exit out of that final corner. But now losing a little bit down the straightaway. Getting a little bit back because of DRS, though. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move into turn 1. He just doesn't seem to gain as much down the straightaway as Danny Rick does. Heatwave picking up another 3-second time penalty there at the bottom of your screen. Danny Rick staying right out there on that exit curb. As Zampa has retired from the session in the pit lane, it looks like. Yep, not sure what that was all about. He was running a pretty solid. He was running in the top 10, so I'm not sure what that was all about. Very curious for the Mercedes driver. Back up to these 2 in front. Rawlings just all over the back of Danny Rick in front. Maybe Danny Rick's tires are starting to go off just a little bit. Running that higher straight line speed setup with lower wings will tend to cause that to happen a little bit quicker. Rawlings able to stick with him. This is about when those tires are going to start to kind of give up a little bit of grip. So he's going to have to, you see there, he locks up. He's having to rely more and more on the aerodynamics of the car. to get grip through that slow section, and it's just not have. It just doesn't have the grip to do it. So again, Rawlings about a half second back, using a little bit of battery there, charging it up a little bit. As Danny Rick's actually got about half the percentage. Rawlings now closing up. He might have a look this time. He's going to go back over to drivers left on the straightaway. No look this time. See, they're taking a lot of curb through turns 1, 2, and 3. I kind of make the joke, I feel like I should be buying these curbs dinner first every time I come here. Like Rawlings did not exactly have the best lap this lap through Sector 2. Was right on the back of the AlphaTauri, but losing a little bit of time, maybe just made a couple little mistakes. He'll claw it back down the front straightaway with DRS. He's definitely going to be within that 1 second gap as they come out of the stadium onto the final corner. Onto the front straightaway here, just to go full blast for almost a full mile. He's going to be too far back for a move here. Joe, however, right on the back of Stenner in front of him in the Renault. Not quite going to be close enough for a move on his end as well. Looks like Rawlings got a much better drive out of turn 3 that time. He is going to have DRS. Is he going to make a move down to turn 4? He's going to go to the inside. Very tight. He's going to have to back out of that. Maybe going to go for a switchback? Not quite. Not enough room. Yellow flag for something in Sector 3. We didn't see what. Not really sure what was going on there. Let's take a quick look at your biggest mover of the race. Current biggest mover of the race, Facetaste, has not stopped. He is up 13 positions of the people that have stopped. That is going to be a tie between Tesla Clerk and Whiffy winner. Joe still looking at Stenner, trying to pick up another spot to get in that fight as well. Biggest loser of the day so far, Killer F1, started second, currently running 11th. Very unfortunate for him. Kind of having my luck. So back up to the front, Danny Rick on the front straightaway again, using a lot more battery. Rawlings is just chipping away at him here. This is Rawlings' strat. This is something I've seen Rawlings do before. He's very cagey about the battery. He knows that if he just lets the guy in front drag him along down that front straightaway and burn that battery out, that one lap he can just go full tilt. As Rawlings now picks up a 3-second time penalty, that is not going to be good for him. He is now sitting on 9 seconds. He either has to force an error from Danny Rick, or he has to get by. Goody Doo spinning through. He's got 25 seconds penalties. I think he's going to retire from the pits here. Yeah, he's going to come over the pit line and go in the pits. Locks it up and will probably retire from the session with 25 seconds of penalties. Yep, there he goes. Stenner still managing to stay in front of Joe. Actually, Joe's lost out of position to Tesla Clerk, so not sure what happened there. Facetaste picks up another 3-second time penalty, so he's now up to 9 seconds. So Danny Rick's sitting the lowest of the top four drivers. And Tesla Clerk currently sitting on nothing. So right now he is net P4 in front of Stenner. And probably if things keep on, he's looking like he could end up making out like a bandit with this. He's right on the back of Stenner anyway. He's actually net P3, I think. As Stenner now comes into the pit lane for his second stop. CRS Facetaste also in. He is onto the medium tire, I believe. Let's take a look. Yep, he is on the medium tire. Stenner as well. Danny Rick also onto the medium tire, so that is going to pretty much set the bar for the rest of the race. Crucially, Danny Rick gets out in front of his teammate. He's right behind Marlin on 10-lap-old mediums. Joe is about 3 seconds further up the road. And now this is where it's going to get interesting. Tesla Clerk jumps up to P2. Currently, leader in front of him has 9 seconds. He's one of the only guys running I don't think BRL Error is actually back in the... No, he is ghosted out, so I don't think he's actually in the race. I think that is the AI driving, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's gone solid again, so I can't tell if he's... Okay, he's probably ghosted, so I don't think he's actually driving that car at this point, which is unfortunate because we've tried getting him back in 3 times and it just hasn't, for whatever reason, worked. So this is crucial. Danny Rick stuck behind Marlin. Is he going to lose out a little bit of time here to Rawlings? Being stuck behind Marlin. He's going to get DRS as Marlin's going to stay out on the track. He's going to get DRS and get around him on the front straightaway. This is going to be crucial. Rawlings stayed out another lap here. He's actually behind the lap car of BRL Error. He might have didn't get DRS off of him, so that's going to allow Danny Rick in some clear air now. So Danny Rick has now got clear track in front of him on fresh tires. He's about 4 seconds behind Tesla Leclerc. So that could play a crucial role in the latter part of this race. CRS Facetaste also with about 3 seconds of clear track, 4 seconds roughly of clear track in front of him up to Whiffy winner. And you can see right there, he's closed up about half a second almost through just those couple of corners. I mean, the new tires will just make such a big difference to how your car handles. Rawlings into the pit lane here. We're going to see exactly where he comes out. Gotta think we're going to see Tesla Leclerc into the pits. He may actually try to stretch it out and do another stint on the softs. Honestly, that might not be a bad idea, but no, he's going to head for the pit lane. And here we are going to see what happens. Rawlings coming out of the pits. Danny Rick resets fast lap at a 1:16.9. He's going to get clear of Rawlings quite a bit, and Marlin is going to get in front of Rawlings as well. So that's going to hold Rawlings up a little bit, I think, on his outlaps. So now Danny Rick with a 2-second advantage over Rawlings, and growing because Rawlings now making a move down the second straightaway on Marlin. So this is where it's all going to start to shake out a little bit, folks. Everybody's going to start making final pit stops. We're going to see Marlin, Whiffy, and Heatwave all dive back into the pit lane, fall down the order, but they're probably going to go for the soft tire, and they're going to blast off in these last few laps and really try to make out like bandits here. Yellow flag for Groggy. He has spun in the stadium section there, I think. He's back going now, well off the back of the field, with the ghost of BRL Error closely chasing him. Rawlings now clear of Marlin, starting to chew that gap in a little bit with those brand new tires. They're very grippy on that first lap, and they start to lose out a little bit, as is quite demonstrated here. Rawlings closing down about a second through the latter part of the lap. So this is where it's going to get crucial, is the fact that Rawlings has 2-lap fresher tires, but he does have 1 more penalty. So effectively, Danny Rick can just really try to not make mistakes, not get a penalty. Rawlings has got to get by him on track. That's the thing he's got going for him. He has to get by on track. Take a look down here at the man currently looking at P3 on the road. Once everything shakes out, that is going to be CRS Facetaste right up the back of Whiffy Winner, looking for a way past. Not going to find it through Sector 2, unfortunately, son. Not enough space and not enough straightaway to get a run on a guy through this part of the track. He's going to have to follow him through here and just wait for that front straightaway, or possibly even for the little DRS burst down to the stadium. Is he going to have a move up here? Yes, he is. He's going to take a look, going to get the inside. Got to keep it tidy on the exit. Now that's going to allow Whiffy to have the inside, but he's got so much more grip in that Ferrari with those new tires. Around the outside to the inside. Oh, and there's a wreck. So that just undid all of Facetaste's hard work. His wing is now destroyed as Stenner goes by, and Joe. That is unfortunate. That is just unfortunate. Now everybody else who needed to pit dives into the lane for their final stop. Joe on the back of Stenner, half the amount of penalties, 6-12. He is going to be looking pretty good, but Tesla Clerk just behind these guys, he is looking absolutely on fire. Stenner's got 12 seconds of penalties. He's about 12 seconds behind him. That's going to be tight because Marlin's still going to pit, so this is effectively going to be looking at P3. He really, really... Oh, and Joe has now spun, so that's going to be one less car for him to deal with. Now he's just got to get around Stenner, get in some clear air, and chase down... Actually, no, he just has to stay right where he's at. I keep mistaking the graphic. He's just got to stay right where he's at behind Stenner, and he will easily get P3 in this race, unless Marlin tries to stretch it out to the end, which I really don't see happening, to be perfectly honest. And even if he does, he'll be going so slow, he'll definitely get within 6 seconds of these two. Looking back up at the front, Rawlings is now caught up to Danny Rick a little bit. He's within a second. He's got DRS, and he is closing down on the AlphaTauri in the lead. Joe picking up a 3-second time penalty right there as Marlin now comes into the pit lane, and Joe picks up a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane to add insult to injury there. Not the best night for the champ. Looking here at TTM Stenner, 16 seconds off the race lead. He's got 15 seconds of time penalties now, adds another one to the tally. That's now 5 time penalties to his name. The guy behind him has not even got one. Of the drivers that are in control of their cars, he's the only driver to have kept it clean. This is the way to get around this place and pick up some spots. Easiest way to get them? On penalties. Maybe not the most fun way to get them, but you get them regardless. Thank you all for tuning in tonight to BRL Tier 3 at Mexico. We are going to keep a close eye on these two right here as they come onto the front straightaway. So I think both of them are going to have DRS. They are, so this is not going to be the move right here. Danny Rick having DRS on the ghosted car, BRL error in front of him. Rawlings getting the benefit of the slipstream as they're both going to close up on that ghost car through Sector 1. Get around him through the first couple of corners, and you can see right there, it just basically pulls over Rawlings with another 3-second time penalty. So now he's got to be 6 seconds ahead. So that's what he needed to do. That's what Danny Rick needed to do. He just needed to force Rawlings into an error. He could probably, honestly, just fall behind him and sit there, but that's not what he wants to do. You want to always finish ahead of the guy on track. But maybe, just maybe, not risk of a collision. Maybe just let him by, as Face Takes now picks up that extra point for the moment for the fast lap. TTM Stenner and Tesla Clerk going at it through Sector 2. Tesla Clerk looking for that switchback. What are you doing, son? You're not going to get any higher. Just don't risk the car. Don't get involved in a silly accident with the Renault. Looking through Sector 3 here at Rawlings. He needs to make hay while the sun shines, and the sun is shining right now. He is quicker, he is closer, and he is faster. On the front straightaway, he's about 0.6 behind. I think that's a little bit too far, but he does have DRS. Closing, cuts over. Not going to happen right there. He's got to get closer off that final corner to make it happen. Or maybe he's going to have a move right here. He pulls over to the left-hand side, and he is going to have the lead of the race into the corner, locks it up, gets in front of the AlphaTauri, so he's got exactly 8.5 laps to make this happen. He has got to get away, and fast. Danny Rick needs to do all he can to stay within a second of that Haas. Currently, it's 6 seconds difference. He's already almost got that 1 second advantage that he needs. Danny Rick needs to stay closer. He needs to get on the back of the Haas. He's going to stay within... let's not speak too soon. He is going to stay within DRS range on this lap. But only just onto the front straightaway. Looks like he got a little bit better run than the Haas. And he is going to have DRS open here. That's going to allow him to close that gap back down a little bit as they head down towards turn 1. Stenner with another time penalty. He is going to lose out big time to the guys behind. So basically, Rawlings almost has to pull out he's got to pull out almost a half second to 3/4 of a second a lap to make this happen without getting any more penalties. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, but you never know. Tesla Leclerc looks like he's got the job done. He has got the job done on track for P3. Down the front straightaway, gets Stenner with DRS, and now he is going to have to try and pull away. Joe picking up another 3-second time penalty. Joe retires from the session. Just not going from bad to worse. That's going to elevate Killer back into the points after an abysmal race for the Williams driver who started P2. And migrating host. Uh-oh. Hopefully that doesn't... Joe left the session. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. So, Danny Rick now outside of DRS range, 1.6 seconds back. He has got to close up that gap to Rawlings. Down the front straightaway, he's gaining a little bit, but it's not enough. He's got to get closer. He's got to keep within 6 seconds. Right now, Rawlings, he might prove me wrong here. He might have all the right stuff going for him to make this happen. Here in the Altiplano. Look at that. Danny Rick burned the battery off. Absolutely gone. So is Rawlings. 18%. Those red lights are flashing. Groggy getting out of the way there. Not getting in the way of the leader even though he's ghosted out. Maybe, just maybe, Danny Rick might end up getting a little bit of DRS off. Nope, he's actually behind both of them, so that will... Nope, never mind. He might... Danny might get a bit of... If Groggy stays in front of him, he might get a little DRS off the Renault as they come onto the front straightaway. It's kind of what I would hope would happen. That'll help close up that gap just a little bit, but Groggy looks like he's going to get out of the way right before that DRS detection point. And Danny's thinking, come on, man. You couldn't help me out a little bit? Gap at the line, 2.3 seconds in favor of Rawlings. That is about 3.7 seconds shy of what he needs to make this happen, but Danny Rick's got no battery to play with. Neither does Rawlings. He's at 3%. These guys have burned everything off. So it's down to mechanical and aerodynamic grip. Rawlings, with the better tires, has got that in his favor. He's got 6 laps left to do it. He might just pull this off. Stenner and Leclerc still going at it. Leclerc getting back in front of the Renault. I mean, this would be annoying to me if I was Leclerc. Because the guy behind me has got so many penalties. So many penalties. It's not even ridiculous. It's not even remotely going to be close at the end of this race. So this would be, I'd be asking him, hey, why are you fighting me so hard? Why are you doing this? Because all you are doing is slowing both of us down and making things worse for yourself. Because you are now trying to fight me for position. You are effectively shooting yourself in the foot here. More so than you already have. On to the front straightaway, about roughly 2.9 seconds between Danny Rick and Rawlings. It's about half what Rawlings needs. He is slowly but surely just eking that gap ever wider back to the car behind. That is exactly what he needs to be doing. Doesn't seem to be losing a whole lot of time through the slower corners here at the start of Sector 2. It seems to be mostly through the S's. So again, I think that just goes back to Rawlings maybe running a little bit higher downforce setup as we see Danny Rick actually claw back a little bit through the S's. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. I don't know what these guys are running for setups, but it looks like he clawed back just a little bit there towards the end of the sector. Runs a little bit deep there. He doesn't need to push too hard and get a penalty himself because that is going to hand this to Rawlings right now, who is already almost 3 seconds exactly in front of him. As they come off, it doesn't look like lost anything but a tenth that lap. That's exactly what he needs to do to keep this in his wheelhouse. Neither one of them have really any battery to play with in the ERS system. Rawlings with just that little bit more, not having to push, and that's gaining him just a hair down at the end, the far end of the straight. But Danny Rick appears to be maybe finding his feet a little bit on the worn tires toward the end of the race. He is just hanging right in there. And now he's got clear air in front of him. The gap is up to 3 seconds. So that is kind of where you really don't feel any aerodynamic effects off the car in front. Locks that left front tire into the corner as Stenner gets up the inside of Leclerc. Leclerc fights back, but Stenner's going to have the inside line here again. Again, this would just be frustrating to me if I was Leclerc. He knows he's going to get Stenner. He's not going to really get Danny Rick or these guys in front. But it's just, it's silly for him to fight this. It's silly for him to continually try and overtake this car in front of him. Because he's lost over a second to Marlin behind. Not that he wasn't going to lose that position anyway, but now he's putting himself in danger of other drivers behind. So he's really not doing himself any favors here by doing that. Danny Rick lost a couple of tenths that lap. Still not going to be enough at this rate for Rawlings to seal the deal. This is turning into quite an interesting race here at the end, folks. These penalty situations always make it interesting here in Tier 3 and everywhere in BRL. Keeps it pretty tidy through the first couple of corners. He can lose almost a second a lap every lap now to the car in front, but he's not losing that as Leclerc gets back up the inside. He's going to push the Renault right to the limit here. Squeeze back in front of him. And again, you see right there, the gap last lap to the leaders was about 20 seconds. Now it's 21.5. And Marlin, again, gaining almost a second a lap on these two because they're battling. This is just... It doesn't hurt Leclerc at all for Stenner to be doing this. All it's doing is hurting Stenner. Because the gap behind him to the other cars, it's not changing. Marlin's the only one getting these guys, but by consequence, everybody else is getting close to these guys. So the gap between everybody behind him is staying static, but the gap between Stenner and Marlin is shrinking, which is putting Stenner in a more precarious position than he already was. Danny Rick, again, only losing a couple of tenths that lap. 2 laps to go. He can lose over a second a lap now to Rawlings in front. I think as Silkweaver just continues to drop down the order here, what is up with McLaren? He is just falling down the order. Give a quick shout out to Whiffy Winter. Probably going to end up getting P6 off of CRS Space Race at the end of the race here because he's only on 6 seconds of penalties. He's on a soft tire, as is Face Taste. But props to him. 6 seconds. Oh, and Danny Rick gets another time penalty. But he's within a second of Rawlings. Rawlings has made a mistake somewhere. Coming up to the final lap, this is going to be tight. Danny Rick now BRS. What on earth? We so crucial. He's jittering around a little bit there. The camera kind of jumping. Not sure if that's just the lobby being goofy, but Danny Rick's back within DRS range, and he's back in control of this. He controls his own destiny right now. Fuel light flashing on screen there should be all right on this last lap. But did he just... What happened here? Did he push the car that hard and gain a bunch of time when Rawlings made a mistake? Or did something else go on here? I'm not sure what happened here. Because the gap was almost 3 seconds. And the gap behind really didn't expand too much, so I don't think he did anything untoward there. Not that I would suggest that, but I'm just kind of eliminating all possibilities, so I think Rawlings made a mistake. Coming up to the final couple of corners here, Rawlings is going to win the race on track, but Danny Rick just needs to keep it tidy through these last couple of corners, not do anything silly, and he will win this race. Through the stadium for the last time. Fireworks going off all around. Out of the final corner. On track, it's going to be Rawlings, but just 0.6 behind, and on one less penalty, it's going to be Danny Rick F1 picking up the win in Mexico. Tesla Leclerc going to come home in a solid P3. No penalties for the Racing Point driver. Only driver to finish the race under his own power to do so. Props to him. It was a little bit closer. That could have benefited him greatly, but still going to gain a lot of time there at the end. Look at that. Gap came down by almost 11, 12 seconds right at the death. Marlin's going to get P4 off Stenner. Face-Tace probably not going to get P5 off of him, so I think that's going to stop the bleeding for Stenner. It is. Whiffy going to come along and pinch 6th place from Face-Tace. Killer going to pinch both of them for P6, actually. Silkweaver going to come around. Not going to gain anything there. And last man running HRT, Heatwave, in P10, going to pick up that final point for Mercedes. Only point they're getting tonight. In P10, we're going to jump back up here to the race winner. Car 15 from Alpha Tauri, Danny Rick F1. Just waiting for Whiffy, or for Heatwave across the line. There he goes. And there you see your winner. Danny Rick F1 wins in Mexico. Driver of the day for the game goes to CRS Face-Tace. I kind of, position-wise, yeah, he passed more than anybody. But I gotta say, driver of the day, in my opinion, has got to go to this man. Walking like an Egyptian in the Mexican sun. Danny Rick F1 is my driver of the day for the stout drive he put up in the latter stages of the race to just hold the gap to Rawlings, who was quicker on newer tires and had a better battery situation towards the end of the race. Almost threw it away with a penalty there in the last couple of laps, but a mistake by Rawlings pulled him back into it, and he was able to hold on. So there you have your finishing order for the Mexican Grand Prix, all the way down to LDR Redeemer, first man out there in P16. Not a good home race for ARS Googidoo 7 in the Racing Point, finishing in P14, not finishing the race at all, actually. Danny Rick F1, your winner for Alpha Tauri. P3 on the grid, Rawlings in second, and Tesla Leclerc picking up P3 and a podium for BWT Racing Point from P9 on the grid with no penalties. Wait till we get back to the home screen to get these guys in here to do a quick little podium interview, and then that's going to be it tonight. And then we're going to get Rawlings in here in just a moment. All right, gentlemen, make sure we connect your audio by clicking that include audio box at the top of the party. I've done. Just a moment, we're trying to get Rawlings into the party. All right, noted. Okay, so we will attempt to get Rawlings in here in a moment. So, we're going to start off with There he is. All right, we're going to start off with P3, Tess Leclerc, the only man who finished the race under his own power to not get a penalty tonight in Mexico. Sir, you ran a very clinical race to P3 from P9 on the grid. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Walk us through your evening.
Yeah, no penalties at Mexico. It's the first time I've done it, but ever.
Hey, welcome to the only guys to not get penalties in Mexico club.
Get in there, Lewis. But yeah, really wasn't expecting Mexico because I can't stand the track. I just seem to have no pace there, so I just thought, oh, if I keep it clean, maybe I'll gain some positions from penalties, and managed to do so. As you said, I think I was the only one who actually finished the race with no penalties.
You were, in
so
fact.
Yeah, I can't really complain, especially from P9 on the grid. I'm just loving to be really good.
All right, so good drive from the Racing Point driver to pick up 15 points and a podium finish here in Mexico. We're going to move on to Rawlings, the man who started from pole position tonight. Almost had it all your own way. Got undercut at the pit stops a couple of times, and the penalties just kind of ate you alive there at the end, bud. Almost had it, and then a mistake towards the end. We didn't see it on camera, but I'm guessing you made a mistake in the last couple of laps, and the gap came shooting down from 3 seconds to 1, right at the death. Very unfortunate. You almost had it, but just not quite meant to be. And he is connecting. Okay, there. Rawlings, did you hear what I said a minute ago? Okay. Had pole position. The penalties just kind of seemed to eat you alive a little bit there. Maybe did you make a mistake in the last couple of laps because the gap came right down from 3 seconds to 1. We didn't see it on camera. Did you make a mistake in the last couple of laps there? Oh. Yeah. Still, valiant effort, just wasn't quite meant to be. Good job to Rawlings on P2 tonight. The man who won the race tonight, Danny Rick F1, all night just there hounding that Haas, even though he was a little bit quicker. Just right there in his mirrors, keeping it on the track. Paid off for you, didn't it?
Did. Happy with it. To be honest, I think he should have won the race, but penalties happened and screen freeze. And, at the end, I had 0 lead, trying to stay. I got that penalty when I saw him go off the track, and I was happy because I knew he won. But freezes suck, and they need to fix it on this game. Robbed him of the win today.
It did, but you benefited from it. Hey, take them where you can get them, brother. You just gotta take them where you can get them. So, congratulations to all three of you tonight on the podium. Not an easy feat in BRL in any respect, in any tier. So we will see you all in 1 week's time in Sao Paulo for the Brazilian Grand Prix. This has been Ferrari Net 94 for BRL Tier 3 from Mexico. Good night, folks.